Everyone loves a good hack, but we're here today to see if these are really worth your time and play everyone's favorite game.
Hack or whack?
First clip.
Sandblasting.
Dude. Okay.
I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
So you can only be so whack. He's using a bottle, a Coke bottle. If we don't want to be brand specific, just a soda bottle.
With a memorable red logo, yeah.
For it to gravity feed the sand into what looks like, is that a homemade?
I think so. I think it's just a regular air nozzle you cut a hole in,
Yeah, that's just a hair nozzle. That's just an air nozzle that he cut up. And I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
Dude, good for you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like
sick,
that.
Yeah.
I mean, the general purpose is there. You know, it's just gravity fed, so you just need it to sit right on top. He cut a hole and made it work. I like that. That's ingenuity at its finest.
Yeah, and it definitely beats going to buy a whole, sandblasting kit or something, you know?
Do you see why this might be bad?
Literally, the reason why you can't use regular sand for sandblasting is because it has a high silica content, and when it goes into finer particles and you breathe it in, it can cause cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was just because the sand was all different kinds of sizes and it would kind of make it uneven, but there you go. You use that, it'll explode on contact and release silica and you'll get cancer. So just get the right stuff and you'll probably live a little bit longer. Have you ever been in the garage and all of a sudden need to break a tool to make a tool?
Yeah, I have.
What did you do, Heber? What did you do?
I had to grind down a wrench to make it bigger because we needed a bigger wrench. So I got an angle grinder and just it wasn't here. It was at home. But yeah, when you don't have that wrench and you need it immediately, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Did you get the job done?
Yeah, got the job done.
Perfect. Well, this hack is pretty rad, but Heber, would you do this?
I'd do this. This is awesome.
But no matter what, wear a mask. That's a definite hack. Next clip. Oh God. Here we go. Oh yeah, here we go.
It's just right at the edge.
All right, I mean, I get what he's doing.
It's working.
All right, yes, I'll give you that, it works. But sooner or later, the tension does need to come off. If you're gonna do lowering springs, and that ratchet strap sooner or later has to come off the existing spring, unless you just throw those ratchet straps away.
Yeah.
And let that explode on somebody else, which sucks for the garbage guy.
Hey! It's pretty sketch. Does it work? Yes. Would I do it personally? No.
On camera?
No.
In privacy, if nobody was looking and I really needed to get something done, I would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some sketchy stuff, especially at the racetrack, because you just don't have the right tools all the time and you have to get back out there, or you want to get back out there. So don't condone this, but A+ for effort.
I've seen too many videos before I started working on cars of springs exploding on people.
You know what's easier? Coilovers. Just get some coilovers. Done.
Just put them in.
Next clip.
Every single one of these valves is leaking. Now this is a problem, but the bigger problem is getting the valve springs out so you can remove the valves to fix the issue. And if you don't have every single cylinder head specific specialty tool to get down in there and compress them,
Valve springs.
it could be a big deal. If you have an extra bolt and washer laying around, I'll show you how to make a universal solution. Cut the head of the bolt off and weld it to the washer. And this is what you should be left with.
Ah, okay, I see what he's doing.
Snug this up in the drill press, grab the cylinder head, and since obviously most valves sit in different cylinder heads at different angles, you're also going to need a piece of wood.
push down on it?
So what I do is I prop this up and I push it forward or
this.
backward until I get the right angle, and I just screw it to the table. Then all you got to do, grab onto the drill press, push her down, and boom, just like that. Oh, and just in case, unplug the drill press while you're doing this. Can you imagine bumping?
But this is cool. He's just using the press for leverage. He's pushing down on the spring seat itself. And then those are the spring seat keys or keepers. And you just get a magnet and pull those out. God forbid those get lost. They always do. Or when you try to reseat the spring and they don't seat completely and they just rock it out. And they are never found again because they're itty bitty. I hate doing this job, if you could tell.
I've seen a lot of different cylinder heads and they're all not the same and they all have different shapes. So even though one method might work tried and true for a lot of them, because a lot of them might be similar, there's always gonna be that one that's like very, very different, and you're like, ah, crud, I got to get this specific tool for it.
This is a solid hack. If you can do it and it's,
Hack.
yeah, and it's straight up and down like he's got it, I like it.
You do have to have a drill press for it, so, like,
Yeah.
but hey.
But he's got one.
Yeah, he's got one.
Solid hack.
Next clip.
We're gonna wash the truck today.
Uh-huh.
Washing the truck.
What's he putting
All
on?
right.
That's really dirty right there. Put
This-
a little soap in there too.
Is that Don?
We'll get it taken care of. Okay, what
No.
y'all say? This is the best way to wash a truck. Turn the water on.
Uh-huh. Water's
What in the
good.
crazy redneck crap's going on here?
Dude, this guy has a beer in his
What in the
hands.
world?
No, he's not though, right? This is just, okay.
All right.
Oh my God, every detailer is dying inside right now. Oh, I don't even like paint and body, and this is hurting me. Stop. No.
Hopefully, you did the wheel wells after.
It don't scratch the paint.
Uh-huh.
Y'all crazy.
It doesn't scratch it, but it sure swirls it. But it honestly looks like he doesn't give a damn about the paint. So here we are, just getting mud off. I guess that works. Dawn soap has a different acidic level, and it's definitely not helping that clear coat. You won't see it probably after the first or second wash, but sooner or later it's gonna get to it. So don't do that, that's a terrible idea. Also, car soap is not expensive from like Mother's or McGuire's or anything that's meant for cars.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Pepper, you help me out here. I can't.
It's really putting a fast spinning projectile near your car's paint. And like, yeah, sure, it's got that little buffer of like whatever to like buff it, like clean it, but like if any of that disc that's on there hits it, you know, it's gonna scratch the crap out of it.
Oh, it's so bad. This is also why you don't go through drive-through car washes. I'm guilty of it because it's easy,
Yeah.
but they also leave spoil marks and aren't great for the paint at all. So if you've got a truck that you look like you want to drive through the swamp of Florida, go for it. I think this is a great way to get all that mud off.
I was like really concerned because he started going for the wheel well, and I was like, hopefully he did at least the wheel well after he did the body, because if
Yeah.
not, he's getting all the dirt from the wheel well on the body as well.
I think so. Like washing a car is one of those things that it's so simple, or seems so simple, and relatively, but a lot of people do it wrong.
This guy sneers at the 2-bucket method.
Oh, this is so whack.
Whack.
Oh my God, this is like a -3. Don't do this.
It's a weed whacker.
Nice, Heber. Dude, if you've got a worse way to wash a car, drop a link in the comment below. I would love to see a worse way. So actually, you could use a Coke bottle and sand and blast it on there with a homemade air gun, which I saw somewhere once. So that'll get the dirt off too.
Yeah.
Next clip. Best way to get drop links off.
He said, no, no, no.
No, no, no. That's going to the right. Yup. Yeah, well, that's not the proper way. So, I mean, he's hitting this on the drop link, which is essentially a link that drops down low enough so that it can hold the sway bar just in the right place. Sometimes the way some suspensions are just configured, they just don't have the ability to have a link that's straight onto the arm itself. And usually if it's straight on the arm, it would bind on it. So there's always some sort of link. This one is quite long.
Mine's kind of that long.
Nice. You know, there's a lot of different methods and ways. There's tools for that. There's also, you could just unscrew it a little bit and then, you know, bring the nut, keep the nut on there, bring it up all the way to cover the threads and hit it with a mallet. A lot of times that'll help bring it out and it won't damage the threads usually. If you want to reuse said end link.
He's got it. He's locked in, dude.
All right, well, it's righty-tighty until it's righty-loosey.
Okay, so is this hack or whack?
It's a process. That's all I got. Next clip.
Trying to pry something in an engine bay, but you don't have enough room, and it's at a very bad angle, and you can't get into a good position to pry. There's a cool trick you can do. Get a pry bar wrench adapter, put it onto your ratchet.
That's a thing?
And now you have adjustable pry bar that you can put at whatever angle works best. There you go.
Oh, wow. You know what?
I mean, that's just a tool. That's not a hack. He didn't do anything except for go to your local parts store and get a tool. So the only way this is different from like an adjustable pry bar is like this is on a ratcheting head.
Yeah.
So you could get like kind of a more in-depth angle. Also, I mean, when you have these little adapter type tools, they don't take as much room in your box. So these little ones that use other tools and it take up less room are actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's really dope. And then, like as you said, it has a 360-degree angle head, and so you could like get some wicked angles on that thing, dude.
So if I was to grade this, I would say it's an actual tool. So hack to whack, it's a whack thing to say that it's a hack because you're just using a tool. So whack.
Whack. On to the next clip.
Guys, you got these rotor screws. They're really hard to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you don't want to strip them? Take your hammer,
Don't use your...
beat the side of the rotor. Oh, you got.
Yeah.
What that's doing, knocking the rust loose in there, getting it freed up. So when you get your screwdriver, look at that.
No.
Rust Belt mechanics hate this one trick.
No need to fear. J.I. is here.
Thanks, guy. There's no way that he like hit it and then all of a sudden just basically used the force of one hand to still take it off. Like, I mean, first of all, that means the bolt was loose almost the whole time. No. This is kind of upsetting. He was
pissed him off.
prying on this bolt, and then he finally like screwed it back in. He's like, okay, now I'm just gonna tap it with this hammer. Oh wow, look, it just came right out. Isn't that crazy? No, I mean the concept, yes, is there. It's true. You know, metal on metal, the rust will kind of weld itself together, glue itself together, so to speak. And yes, it'll break it free, but it would not just like be 2 or 3 taps and then you just kind of twist it off nonchalantly. You liar! I would go with a blowtorch. You know, my favorite tool.
I was gonna say that. You could do a blowtorch.
Is fire, because metal, expands and contracts with heat and coldness. So you just hit it with a blowtorch for a while and then even throw some water at it and then it'll expand and contract quickly and then it'll help break that rust. It essentially would do the same thing. You get to play with fire. But yeah, I'm not saying this doesn't work. I just don't like his presentation. All right, next clip. Clean oil change.
Oh yeah.
This is, engineers do this on purpose. They're like, where should we put a certain drain to really mess with people?
Right on the exhaust.
On the exhaust or maybe all over the suspension. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Good for you. You know?
Dude, he brought everybody in the shop to go look at
Oh,
that.
everyone. He was like, hey, come here, check this out.
You hear him in the background too, talking shit about engineers.
Oh, really?
Listen.
That's pretty funny. We all have the same response, which is hilarious. Mechanics hate engineers and engineers hate mechanics, and together we try to not coexist very well.
Ah, yes.
No, this is great. I mean, that solves a solid problem. A lot of times the oil drain plugs will be somewhere that's like, there's a line in front of it or it's super high, and then they just squirt it all over the suspension parts or the exhaust.
Oh yeah, not fun.
Which is crazy. Outside of the bolts also, oil filters always leak everywhere. And I don't know why they do that. Especially in like Hondas, like the older like B series, the oil filter is like in the back of the motor and right above the headers. And if you still have a catalytic converter, which is fun, you'll unscrew it and it just dumps all over it. And then you have to let it burn. And yeah, there's kind of some ways you try to catch it, but for the most part, it's very upsetting. This is a solid hack.
Yeah, this is dope. This is great. You're using something you have in the shop that you're probably gonna throw away.
Yeah.
And just making it a tool.
I like this. This is satisfying.
Ingenuity, pass it on.
Next clip.
This is another nice little hack if guys don't know. Take the new part you're doing, in this case a water pump, and put the bolts in the holes of the new water pump that you're taking out. And as you can see here, these bolts are all different sizes. This is the reason I do this, because if you slam one of these into the wrong hole, she's gonna scream at you. You can use this little trick on almost every single car part there is. And once you get both parts out, you can transfer the bolts back to your old one and use it as reference when you're installing your new part. It'll save you time. You'll know where all the bolts go, and you won't accidentally mix up the bolts in the wrong hole. Something so little, but yet so effective.
I like the background music.
Yeah.
really uplifting.
It's very like spiritual advice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a good idea. It's pretty simple in the thought process. A lot of times people just zap the bolts off and put them off to the side. I'm big on doing this. This seems super normal to me for the most part, because I don't want to lose it, and I lose a lot of bolts in the past.
I mean, we've also seen multiple times, like on doing it, that there's like the cardboard method. Like if you don't have the new part yet, you can always like poke holes in cardboard and put them all in the same order or orientation that they were in. Also, why are there like 7 different bolts on this thing? What the hell?
Let's talk about the engineers again. What is your deal? You're like, you know what? We should change all the heights
Look
of
at
every
that.
single
Look at
bolt.
that.
That is pretty wild. Not as much of a hack to me as is just like solid advice.
Yeah, that's great advice.
He didn't like make or do anything. Like you said, there's a bunch of different methods. Cardboard's one of them. Put it back in the part itself. There's also just like the generic trays, the magnetic ones that you can put anywhere you want on the ceiling, and then just like throw it up there. See how many stick. If one gets lost, whatever, dude. There's always extra bolts for whatever reason. So, big thing that I like to do is, if possible. So let's say you do like suspension work. You take, you know, the shock off or whatever, I'll thread that bolt back into the place it's supposed to be. That way when I get to putting it back on, the bolt is being held there for me. Other than that, you dump it in a bucket and wish yourself luck. Organization is key. That'll save you hours and hours of looking for stuff. So Ziploc bags, cardboard box, put it back on the part. Don't lose your stuff.
Grab a Sharpie, label it.
That's a good one. Next clip.
Mechanic Hacks 101.
Ooh, 101.
When it's this music, you know it's gonna be serious.
To drain oil without
is he gonna
getting
get
your hands dirty?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
He's in.
Just remove the car.
I like this. I like this.
Those are always funny. Pulling the motor seems pretty excessive. If I'm honest, I almost do the exact opposite. You ever try to do it the quick and easy way because you think it's gonna be easier, but it's not and it's way harder? But the harder way needs to be like, oh, you should actually remove the engine or remove something. So you take 3 times as long to do something the easy way so that it's easy and not hard, but it's like 3 times harder because you did it the dumb, easy way. That's what this kind of spurs in my mind, and I do that way too often. So sometimes the long way is the right way. This also reminds me that I've taken projects far, far too far. All right, well, that was fun. Thank you, Heber. And if you want to see any more hacks like this or anything else, really, click some of the links below. Catch you on the next one.
Later.